Hey YouTube, I just did the sun's out. I just did a short sort of not subscriber version video for this guitar, explaining just, you know, I'm going to maybe put a graphic up to make it look like everyone else's videos, you know, it's like a whoo, evil kitty or something like that. So this is the Hello Kitty guitar that I got a few months ago. Better turn the light on, maybe just washing it out a little bit. Yeah, so what we have here, in fact I'm good. That is making a noise. I've got the oscilloscope set up to show what I'm playing, which is pointless, silly, and it's just pointless and silly. But it's fun, sort of, isn't it? Yeah. So I might as well leave it on. It's a little bit. I can hear there's a fan in it, and I can hear it because it's right next to my head. But I don't think it'll probably be coming through in the mic. I've hopefully moved the mic closer to me. The mic's right here. So hopefully you can hear me talking a little bit louder. Yeah, so I got this with my pal Wayne found this. I saw it hanging on a wall and a guy was buying guitars off, and it didn't look like a Hello Kitty guitar. So this is a pretty rare black Hello Kitty Strat. It had been modified though. It had I'm just going to pause this and go and get it rather than explain it. Yeah, so it had an aluminium classic vibe scratch plate on it. The headstock had been reshaped into a horrible shape, and it didn't have the two single coils in it, end whistle single coils. Actually, an end whistle pickup I've put back in it. So if you imagine like that, right? Yeah. And I saw this on hanging on a wall, and I thought, is that one of those Hello Kitty guitars in the back? And I bought it for cheap, because my pal Scott's got the pink one and the black one, and the pink one is worth a lot of money, and the black one is rarer, so maybe worth more money. Obviously in its butchered state it was no longer a Hello Kitty guitar. So the problem there was it had been routed out to take, I think it had a pickup selector here and like a volume and a tone, and it was routed out. So when I bought it, I did get the original white humbucker, which I've not used again, and then I put and it came with the scratch plate. So I've put it back, but there was some bits I had to fill in. So if you can see here, I've basically kind of just drew around the bit that was cut out. I've used the aluminium tread plate and painted it gloss black, which you kind of can't see from certain angles. There and here as well, just to fill in the damage that was based on the guitar. There's still there's a screw hole there and one here which I've not dealt with yet. Not really sure whether I have to. You can't really see it. Yeah, so now I've got a kill switch here because there was a hole, and this is, if you remember the other day I had a metal box, this metal box, where I had an artec preamp in it, which is meant to, that's now in this. So what I've done is as I said, I've extended the trim pot on the artec preamp to be this knob. This is the rotary selector, which selects different sounds. So if you put it right down back, it's bypass basically. Well, it's not on just now. And you know it's not on because when you turn it on, the eyeballs light up red, which is not looking particularly impressive in this particular light. They're very, very bright LEDs though. That implies you've turned on, it's on bypass. That turns on the distortion circuit. So the distortion circuit, as I was explaining in the last video, it's this trim pot which I've extended. This is a on, off. This is clean boost, and then as you go on, it gets more distorted, but you've got to turn the gain down, otherwise it just gets too loud. So basically you can have clean, then switch on the distortion. Wasn't an easy switch to wire. You go through to, I think that one's it goes, is it clean boost, blues, distortion, heavy rock, and then heavy metal, or something like that. The 4 sounds on it. But it's actually quite a good sounding pedal in its own right. I'm not using any pedals. I'm just running straight into the that wee laney there. You need to be able to tame it a little bit. Otherwise, it's much louder than the clean sound. And then that's the heavy metal one. But it goes stupidly loud. That's why I really needed to add the extra gain pot. So basically it's just a volume and then a slight distortion pedal. A slight distortion pedal. A distortion pedal basically. And I wanted to set it up. There's one thing I'll find a little bit annoying. It does, in order to, I wanted to be able to play clean and then hit the switch and then set whatever level of distortion you wanted, set it and then go back to your normal sound. You could also use it with, obviously if you're using a distortion sound, you can just use the boost thing to give you a solo for the boost that turns the red lights on. Stuff like that. But it does, as you can hear, it does take a while to kick in. Kind of goes, which is basically, I think a lot of pedals do that, but that's me basically disconnecting the battery from it. So it's got to warm up for 2 seconds, which might be an effect you could use. Just whether you can. I need to learn to use the kill switch, which I always say I've never actually had a guitar that I've kept that's got a kill switch in it. You can see the oscilloscope working. Off, on. Yeah, so what we've got is, this is the original Hello Kitty black guitar. Says Hello Kitty on the back of it. As I said, this extra bit gives you the extra knobs, which you needed anyway, because basically this guitar just has one knob. I would not have, if I'd had the original Hello Kitty one, I wouldn't have done this to it because they're worth an awful lot of money. But this one was already brutalised, so I've made it less so. And I suppose you could argue that it's worthwhile having a kill switch there. I'm trying to make it look intentional, which, you know, I intentionally did it. Yeah, so the pickup's an Entwistle X3 bar bag in it. I haven't yet decided. I might put a push-pull coil split on it, but I don't know if... we turn the volume down a little bit. Humbuckers tend to be a bit harsh when you're playing clean, but if you turn it down a little bit... It doesn't really sound like a Strat. So maybe the single coil, if I put it's dead easy to do, it doesn't affect anything. Put a push-pull pot in. And this is the original neck. You can see it's still got the squier thingy on it. The serial number had been partly sanded off, but it starts off with IC. It's an Indonesian corp, but the serial number's been sanded off. So I don't doubt it wasn't real. The headstock, as you can see, these came with a 70s style big Strat headstock, but this one had been altered, and it looked awful. It really did. I was really looking at buying another neck, because basically you can just buy a Squier Affinity neck and it's the same. On the pink ones, it's got pink fret markings on it, so you can't just buy any Squier neck for that one, whereas this one is just a Squier neck. It didn't say, I don't think it says anything about being Hello Kitty on it, and it's just got black fret markings. But what I did was I managed to make it look a bit more like a Telecaster. It was already painted black when I got it. I'll put a picture up on the Mad Malco Guitars Facebook page of a before picture. But this headstock is just now a sort of telly, which there was enough left to make it into a sort of telly, and I think it's acceptable. Before it was like totally, right, I need to put another neck on it, but then you just kind of, it's no longer the Hello Kitty guitar. Bridge, as far as I can tell, is the original one. Yeah, so I think the frets might have been done on this. It seems to be awful good. It seems to have like rolled edges on it as well, so it's maybe been a bit nicely done. I'd imagine these are the original tuners. I think so. It's sort of sealed type, and there's no extra holes implying there was anything else there. So these ones are the ones that have got like two wee prongs on the back rather than having a screw to hold them straight. So I think pretty sure they're the original ones. I was looking up for a logo for the headstock, and there's a wee enamel Hello Kitty, basically looks like that, pin badge you can buy for like £2. I was thinking of sticking that to the head, but I've not decided yet. Just with a bit of glue, but it kind of looks alright the way it is. Yeah, so messing through the different distortions, that's it. Bypass. Seems to be almost distorting my amp when it's off. I think it's just because this is such a high output pickup. Maybe if you want clean, you turn it down a little bit. Well, the lights are on, but the distortion. The lights are on, but there's nobody home. So if you've got this fully anti-clockwise, it just bypasses basically turns it off. But means you can have the lights on and then use your own distortion, so you get the joy of having the red lights and your own fuzz pedal. So if I go on to the next one, this is just a clean boost, and this is the gain of the preamp. I wonder maybe if I tone the pickup down here. Up to the next one, which is the blues distortion. Try to volume down a little bit, tone down a little bit. Hard rock distortion. You see me turning the gain pot down every time I change to one of these, because it just really just adds in so much volume. I think my amp's actually distorted a little bit. I'll try going to the clean channel on the amp. The reason... stop as well, but the reason I don't use this is because it's now started making a bit of a buzzing noise. I think it's one of the valves is gone, but this should be maybe be a bit cleaner. Is that cleaner than it was in the drive channel? Then obviously the distortion. So that was clean channel, I mean the drive channel, clean channel. No, it's just wee tube amps just distort when you put like a stupidly high power pickup in it, and this Entwistle X3 is a stupidly high power pickup. Easy to swap it out of if it came down to it. I would use all the sounds on it. So that's the hard rock one, this is the last one, the heavy metal one, which would be even louder. A bit of volume down again, gain down even. You got Judas Priest actually. There, hike the volume up like that. So, fun. I think... Well, basically, as I've already said, I had to do something with it to fill in these holes to make it back into Hello Kitty, and I thought, that as soon as I started thinking about... That's really annoying me how noisy that is. As soon as I started thinking about putting the distortion pedal thing in, I started thinking, oh, battery and then the red LEDs. It just seems... They work regardless of what whether you even get the guitar plugged in or anything like that. I could put a stereo jack socket on, which you normally do on these things to turn the battery on, but on this one... You know it's on because you get these. They actually hurt you. They can physically hurt you. I don't know how bright they are, but if you get them right at the angle of the camera, see that's sort of normal. Then when you actually get them in, they really are super high intensity. They would look fantastic with a smoke machine. You would get like Borg lasers coming out. I've tried that just by blowing smoke at it. I don't actually have a smoke machine anymore. Yeah, but imagine turning up at when we start doing. Gigs are back and stuff, you know, say you're doing an acoustic jam and you decide to turn up with an electric guitar, and you just have this plugged into the desk, you know, no amp or anything like that, and it's like, I'll just use clean, that's fine, and then you've got Hello Kitty evil mode. And I think that the sounds in it are basically my thinking was the way it was originally meant to be, you know, you just turn the rotary pot to bypass, and that gives you that basically turns it off, cleans it. But I'm thinking more along the lines of what you're going to do is you're going to set your favourite sound like in advance, like depending on if you're using that one, or you set it so it's got a good whatever the volume it is you want it to be at, whether you want a sort of slightly less distortion, sort of bluesy type thing. That means you can switch between clean and a bit of distortion. And then obviously the heavy metal one is pretty much brutal, and let's be honest, it's the one I would probably use. So yeah, so I'm going to sell this. Let's be honest, I don't really want a Hello Kitty guitar. I do think it's quite amusing, and it's actually quite a good guitar, but if these were like worth 100 quid, I'd just keep this. But they're worth an awful lot more than that. Just now there's one on Reverb, a black one, which is rarer, for 750 quid. So going by Reverb prices, that probably means a really optimistic price for a mint condition one without all this mods on it, and all the gig bag and all the bump and stuff's maybe 500 maximum, something like that. I don't know. They do go for stupid money though. I'm judging, you know, 500 quid as stupid money. So I'm hoping this one. The idea that the eyes light up, I mean, it's got to have a huge novelty value for maybe, especially for someone who can't really do mods themselves. You know, the fact it's got the distortion pedal in it and the red light up eyes, and it's got a kill switch for the Tom Morello thing, if I was good enough to actually use it, would be pretty cool. And as I said, to get it back to, if you really couldn't handle the square headstock, the telly type headstock, you can buy like an Affinity Strat or something like that, you know, just an old one, and then just swap the necks over, and then just put this on the Affinity neck. Of all the headstock shapes, but it's a real shame that whoever it was decided to cut it up, the previous owner, because it was an ugly shape, and I think the telly's better than what it was. Not as good as having the original Strat one, but good enough. So, happy Monday, good fun. I did a live stream last night, and I was on the Bucky, and I overran by about an hour and a half. Good fun. So I'm probably going to do that on Sundays until people stop watching. So if you're about on a Sunday night about 8 o'clock Scotland time, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, then pop along and watch me do all this live. Woo, exciting. Rock on, have a great week, and stay safe.